Hello and welcome to the greatest Tamil science channel. I'm your host Vishakha and we are in continuation with our discussion with Dr. C.K. Nandagopalan. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Vishakha, and warm welcome.
Thank you. So we were speaking about memory in our last episode and we looked at what is the concept of memory, how to strengthen your memory and what are the factors that decide the power of a person's memory. We're going to go one step ahead this time and we're going to talk about short-term and long-term memory. So sir, we'll start off maybe on a definition of what is short-term memory. How do we define what is short-term memory and what is long-term memory? We've heard these concepts so often.
Okay, that last time we spoke about basically is what's memory of the brain all about.
Right.
So now you want to know what is short-term and long-term memory. And last time itself I explained to you that, learning skills, or swimming or driving a motor car or, driving a bicycle or handling a machine, how to handle a mixie, how to light a stove, all these things when you learn, they stay forever.
Right.
Do we call them as long-term memory, which is directly related to skills?
I think it's so embedded in you that you don't need to recollect. It's like tying your shoelace. It just happens.
But then it has to be somewhere, no?
It has to be somewhere. Yes, information.
Are you not going to call that as a memory?
Yes, I guess.
If you want to get only stuck with the memory, what you are looking at by studying a book.
Information.
A book which holds 1,500 pages on a particular subject. Say you read a book of a research methodology, the topic of the book is, Buddhism and psychoanalysis. It's a research methodology book. It runs into 1,200 pages. You have read the whole book, 1,200 pages. You want to remember the whole thing? Straight question. You want to remember page after page?
Definitely not. Maybe just the concept.
No, whether you like it or not, the brain doesn't want it.
Okay.
Simple. Because you are a part of a curriculum where you are asked to read this research methodology, this book. So, to evolve in that curriculum, to get your degree or whatever it is, you have been asked to do this, instructed to do this, so you do it. But you are not interested. But you read it and you don't remember it. Is that you want to call it as a short-term memory?
I guess.
See, the modern science always starts splitting things. Now I will tell you. When you buy the first car, you have a registration number that you will remember. 68, 69 was my first car. Okay? You will remember. Maybe after 30 years when you have changed to 8, 9 cars, suddenly what was the first car number you had? I said, wait, I will remember it. I think it starts with 6 or something. I'm not sure, but I kept it in my diary. Okay? Because at that point of time, 30 years ago, for 10 years, that was a memory in your brain. That's what you think. After that, when you change over car to car to car to car to car, the 10th car when you hold, that has become irrelevant to the brain. So the brain doesn't remember it. Is that what you want to call it as a short-term memory?
I guess remembering for 10 years is pretty long term.
So what do you want to call it, as a long-term memory or a short-term memory? Memory is memory. There is no short-term or long-term.
Okay.
But what is memory? Where does it get stored in the brain? Memory do not get stored in the brain. That's the truth.
Right.
Then where is the memory? Memory is stored outside you. Your brain is only a RAM.
Right.
A RAM which connects that.
Interface.
Yeah. There's one guy who have come very close to it now. Mr. David Eagleman, who is a scientist who has done a lot of research about the human brain. He calls this as Akashic memory.
He calls it as?
Akashic memory.
Akashic.
Okay. Now, Albert Einstein was born in 1879. He died in the year 1955. You know that he was born in Germany,
Right.
and he was one of the greatest scientists in the world.
Right.
Right? And see that number of years he lived, he contributed huge amount of stuff to the modern science, and there are many things work based on his principles, what he has delivered. Right?
Yeah.
So this 1879 to 1955, the memory that he has accumulated, right, in his brain, you mean to say that brain is burnt or buried or whatever, but the memory is there still outside. If
Yes.
this earth is going to live for another 10 crore years, Albert Einstein memory will
That
be there.
memory is available.
Yeah.
Very
If you can connect your RAM to his memory, you can read his memory.
Right.
So memory is not a part of the brain of what you have learned through your education. But brain has its own memory. That's why I explained you last time. The cells know what it has to do.
Cells.
Because they are subjected. Do you know how your brain works? You don't know.
You don't.
But they're all working actively. All 86 billion guys inside are working actively. Otherwise, you're gone. You're finished. You're not going to stay within the normal purview. Suddenly, you cannot turn around and say, I have forgotten how to drink water. Right?
Yeah.
Will that happen to you? I want to know an answer from you.
No, definitely not.
Suddenly you cannot turn around and say, I don't know how to sleep. Suddenly you cannot turn around and say, I don't know how to read. But that also happens, right?
Right.
When you meet with an accident, there's some impact takes place, and then you tend to forget everything. You won't even remember your name. You have seen that, right?
Right.
So what happens there?
But still the involuntary functions still continue.
Now, where is your long-term memory and short-term memory there? So the RAM has failed to connect. Right?
Yeah.
There is. I'm just explaining you. So what happens when we do in the section of computerized, electronic computerized systems? We bring in a character called binary, right? You know what is a binary?
Yeah.
0 and 1.
Ones and zeros, yeah.
So a 26 binary will form a character of A. It's something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, your 1,000 bytes make a kilobyte, 1,000 kilobyte make a megabyte, and all that stuff. Okay. So when the satellite takes a picture, it cannot transmit a picture. You know that, no? It takes a picture in the camera, and that picture is processed in the satellite into binary data.
Yeah.
Because only the binary data can be transported.
Can be transferred.
Transmitted to the satellite center, where you receive it through the antenna,
Reproduce
and then
it.
you run a software. This binary data will be run through a software, and it will convert it back to photograph.
The photograph.
So this is how that system works. Right? So there is some transport taking place from outside, where your memory is getting stored, and to your brain, which you don't know, which modern science will be studying later.
But which I think our ancients were pretty clear about, that the memory or the mind is not within the body. It's not contained in the body. It's outside the body.
No, again you have to understand very clearly what is that you want to emphasize on that word memory. Brain and the body and the entire 10 trillion cells of your body, including your 86 billion neuron which is working in the brain, is full of memory of what your system is supposed to function. The memory which we are talking here at the moment with connection to the brain is the memory of what we learned in the schools and colleges and all those things.
Yeah.
That is the smallest part of the memory of this body. Very, very small. We think that dominates the never. It's very, very small. You know, if you have to understand how the whole visual system works, you know, both your eyes and, you know, the kind of actions taking place in the retina, and then it travels through the optic nerve to the visual center in the brain, the occipital lobe. You know, you will just go years together to study that. Then how much of memory is held by the body of all these cells to do that job? There's a big 100-inch television is there, and it has a motherboard, right? And the motherboard has to do all the work to make the picture on the screen. You follow?
Yeah.
So you are fed in so much of memory of the motherboard to do the work, right? Like that, nature is fed in billions and trillions of information inside your body, and that is what is memory. Not the one which you study to remember. See, learning, a concept of learning, I'll tell you now, is acceptance.
Right.
If you don't accept, you reject. You don't want to learn.
You don't want to learn, right?
Once it is accepted and you've learned, over a span of time, if you are going to go around it, use it, it becomes a belief. You start believing in it.
You start believing in it.
Once you start practicing that belief, over a span of time, it becomes faith. Right? You're too strong with that. Then you have formed a boundary of your brain. Anything against that faith, you will straight away reject it.
Revolted, yeah.
So what happens? You are putting an end to your education, which leads to learning. So where is your memory there? There is nothing called short-term memory or long-term memory. Memory is memory. The brain decides what to store and what not to store.
For how long?
Yeah. It has its own processing unit, which it knows what to store and what, it knows what to connect and what not to connect. It doesn't care.
So is emotion related to how long or how...
Emotions destroy your memory.
Okay.
The more of emotional turbulences in the brain, which disturbs the functions of your brain in order to produce certain chemicals which acts as a RAM. You reduce. When you are angry for a period of 15 minutes and you fight with somebody like a dog, okay, and use all kinds of language, when your anger comes down, the next day, when I ask you, why were you so angry so far yesterday for over a span of half an hour or 15 minutes, you were talking haywire. You said, did I? You will ask. Do you know the language you have used? No, I don't remember anything. I know I was angry. I was going on screaming, but I did not even know what I was talking. So nothing get registered, right?
True.
So what happens when we are intoxicated, when we drink beyond certain level and get sozzled? You don't remember anything what has happened.
Yeah.
I knew, when I had the sixth peg, I knew that I asked for some water. Then after that, I did not know how much I drank, how did I come home, who brought me home, who put me on the bed. I don't know anything. You're going to call this as a responsible act of a brain? No. What has happened is been stored. The brain has no link at all. So the brain has to be aware. Memory is finally awareness. Remember this first.
So in a calm state is what will help the memory get stored and retrieved best. Is
the so-called blissful situation for a brain according to the spiritual life is to get out of that bundle of memory you have stored. Which is called the emptying the consciousness. As long as you are attached to this world, the brain tends to hang on to that memory that you have stored out of your experiences. There is nothing called long-term memory or short-term memory. Who are you to decide which is long-term memory and which is short-term memory?
Yeah, it's strange because, for example, I was writing an address yesterday and I remembered the PIN code. And the moment I finished writing it, today I don't remember the PIN code. It's because it's not necessary for me. But the place, a small little town I grew up in, the PIN code is right, very, very embedded. I mean, the last probably 20, 25 years I haven't been there, 20 years maybe. But I remember the PIN code just like that still. Because
Yeah, from the childhood, the lot of transmission takes place at the age of 6. Those transformation of the human body is something totally different when you reach the age of 6. And that 6 to 18, adulthood, from the childhood to adolescent to adulthood, plays a lot of role in your brain development. Because cortex take 25 years to develop.
Right.
From the zero, when you are born, it takes 25 years for the cortex to fully mature. Yeah. That is why you see people who will be an average student till the age of 17, 18. After 17, 18, they just take off because of the improvement of the growth of the cortex. Yeah. There are many things which we will be talking in when it comes to aptitude, in the program called aptitude. And those are the fantastic part of the memory of the brain. The hand-eye coordination, the hand-eye-leg coordination. The visual system by itself takes 9 years to completely mature. Yeah. You throw a ball at a 4-year-old boy, he won't be able to catch it because his hand-eye coordination is not there. But when you throw it to him at the age of 10, he'll just catch it like that. So memory is something not stored in your brain. Memory is something which is outside. After Vishaka lives for 100 years and depart, the memory of Vishaka will remain in this world. And I'll tell you where exactly the memory is stored. It is not stored in air. It's stored in water.
In water?
The ocean. The salt dissolved ocean.
Okay.
2/3 of your world is ocean.
Right.
1/3 is only land.
Right.
That is why 70% of your body is water molecule.
Okay.
Only 30% is land.
So
all your memory is stored in ocean, including everything. And the water molecules of your body are the RAM. This is the truth, what is studied by the ancient science. If you understand the water, you understand the universe. All secrets are embedded in the water.
Thank you, sir. This for me was a huge revelation. While I had an idea of the memory and the mind not being within at least the learned not being within the body. So what you've just told me is actually it's made me a bit speechless, and I would love to understand more about it. But this has been one beautiful program for me personally, and I'm sure everybody listening will be pretty surprised and quite shocked maybe to understand how memory is stored and where it's stored. And of course the understanding that there's really nothing called as a short-term or long-term memory. It's our brain that decides what's important and what's not. So thank you so much for being with us. This has been one beautiful program for me, and I'm sure it's for you as well. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more such information, more such revealing information that you can use in your life. Thank you for being with us.